Here we have Tech Teams number 708, locking, folding, table leg hinge set. Comes complete with 4 locking hinges and the necessary screws. Here's a piece of wood we're going to use for our demo table leg. On one dimension it's about 32-33 millimeters across, and the other dimension it's about 38 millimeters across. Here's our hinge in the extended position, and here's our hinge in the collapsed position. As you can see, this is flush and this side is also flush, so it really doesn't matter which side gets attached to the bottom of the table and which side gets attached to the leg. However, if we had a preference, we would attach this side to the bottom of our table and of course this one to the leg. Okay, how does this hinge work? This is in its locked position with the leg extended. What you do is you press this lever and then you can collapse the hinge, and now it's in its storage position. Okay, how does this guy work? Well, this is in the extended position with the leg down. To collapse it and bring the leg up, you push the lever down and then you just fold your leg up and it's now locked in the collapsed position. To extend the leg, you press this lever down and then you just undo the hinge like that, and now it's in the extended position. Since we don't have a tabletop here, we're going to use this board as our demo tabletop. The set comes with 10 screws per hinge, and each one is about 5/8 of an inch long. Generally speaking, that will give you a solid enough connection both to the bottom of the table and to the table leg. If you feel a stronger connection is necessary, you can use longer screws. Generally speaking, the leg is thick enough so that you could use screws an inch or maybe even an inch and a quarter long. In many cases, your tabletop is not thick enough to accommodate longer screws. The quick and easy fix is take a piece of wood like this and glue it and screw it to the bottom of the table at exactly the place where you're going to anchor your hinge. This will of course increase the thickness of the table at that point, and you can use longer and bigger screws to get a much more solid connection. Just to be clear, one of the main reasons we use the shorter screws is so that when you attach the hinge to the bottom of your table, the screw is not so long that it ends up going all the way through the table and comes through out on the top. You don't want that. Okay, the first thing you want to do is have your table bottom side facing up, and then you want to position your hinge right where you want it underneath the table. The next step, before you screw your hinge in place and get it solidly mounted to the table, is to put your leg exactly where you want it and position the hinge where you want it, and make sure that the table leg is either flush with the edge of your table, or you may want to have it inset a little bit. The key point is that once you have the leg and the hinge positioned exactly where you want them, that you mount the hinge to the table bottom first. And then, when you've done that, you mount the leg to the hinge. The reason is that if you mount the leg to the hinge first, it's very easy to have the leg extend a little bit beyond the hinge, in which case you're going to apply pressure against the bottom of the table and against the screws that are holding the hinge in place when you go to extend the leg. Or just as bad, you may end up with little extra space here so the leg doesn't reach the table all the way, and then you're going to put stress on the hinge. So therefore, if you mount the hinge to the table bottom first and then mount the leg, you can ensure that the leg is going to be absolutely flush with the bottom of the table. Okay, we got our hinge mounted to the underside of the table. Now we have both our hinge and our leg attached, and to operate it, we just move the lever down, fold our leg like this, and it's in the storage position. To extend the leg, we just push that lever down, lift it up, and just have to go around and do that for the other 3 legs, and you're in business. The hinges are really strong. They're a solid 2.5 to 3 millimeter thick steel that's been stamped and punched. Then the steel's been treated with a corrosion-resistant yellow zinc dichromate finish. Internally, you can probably see right here and right here, there are two springs. And what those springs do is they keep the latch solidly engaged so that the hinge stays in its locked position up or its locked position down.